Lorraine and the Very Complicated Wolf by Ariane Ziegler. This book is dedicated to Lorraine, the girl who always sees the best path and the power of the outlier. May we all continue to think outside of the box. Lorraine flew into this world on a mission, and although she could always magically make her mom smile, she made her very tired too. From the beginning, Lorraine was spunky. She wasn't very clean. She wasn't very quiet. She was never still. She was never full. But Lorraine had goals. She had an imagination larger than the globe. She had determination and bravery that would make a black bear cower away, and she had the most pure and loving heart that echoed along in the path she walked. Lorraine loved the little town she lived in where everyone got along. One day she was walking in the woods and came upon a wolf, dressed and walking on just two of his legs. "Hi there, Mr. Wolf. I see you're walking on two legs there. You've got some real skills." The wolf bowed his head and whispered, "I don't think I'm very skilled at all. Wolves aren't supposed to walk upright. I was thrown out of my pack because I wasn't the same." Lorraine gasped. "Oh my gosh! You talk too? You are very complicated indeed." The wolf nodded his head. Lorraine pondered for a moment. "Well, are you nice too? You see, I live in a nice town. We don't care about how different you are. The only rule is you have to be nice." "Another one of my downfalls," said the wolf. "I always got in trouble for playing with the rabbits instead of catching them." Lorraine smiled. "I think you'll fit right in." And they began walking to Lorraine's house. As they reached Lorraine's house, the excitement grew. "Mom, we have a visitor. I met a new friend. Meet Mr. Wolf." Lorraine's mother stared with great fear. "Lorraine, what made you bring an animal in this house? And how did you dress him?" "I didn't," said Lorraine. "He walks and talks and fancies the finest of linens. Isn't he brilliant?" "With all due respect, Mr. Wolf, you cannot stay here. You possess skills that are too unique, too different for our town. I'm sorry." Now Lorraine didn't like that answer at all. Just because Mr. Wolf has special talents or doesn't appear the same, shouldn't decide if he fits in or not. Besides, he could teach us a few things about being nice. Mother sighed. "That's my Lorraine. All right then. Mr. Wolf will have to convince the townspeople. If he does that, he can stay." Lorraine cheered with joy and gave her mother the biggest, tightest hug. That evening, Lorraine told Mr. Wolf of the great task ahead. Mr. Wolf was nervous, but so happy he finally fit into a family that he vowed to show the townspeople his worth. To pass the time, the complicated wolf asked for a sewing machine and some of the finest linens Lorraine could find in town. For weeks, the complicated wolf did not come out of his room. Lorraine brought him meals, and the only sound she could hear from the other side of the door was the sound of the sewing machine. Soon thereafter, the townspeople all gathered in the garden to hear Mr. Wolf's story. I met Lorraine in the woods. She was the first human that did not run from me. I never asked to walk or talk or feel more like myself with clothes on or with just being kind to all my fellow wood animals. It's just sort of the way I was made. I can sew, and if I can stay, I will sew the finest of outfits for everyone until the end of time." The townspeople huddled together. "Sewing is a lost art in these modern times. How can a wolf do that?" said one town member. "We need to see proof, Mr. Wolf." Just then, Lorraine stood up from her seat. "I have your proof right here." And she walked to the front of the garden wearing the most beautiful emerald green dress the townspeople had ever laid their eyes on. "Mr. Wolf spent weeks making me this beautiful gown quietly in my home. You see, kind acts can return us beauty," Lorraine said with a smile. With that, the townspeople accepted Mr. Wolf into their town, and they lived happily and very well dressed thereafter. The end.